All right, so a super common question I get is if you are building your own coaching business and you're wanting to sell your coaching packages and you've got a page on your website dedicated to describing how someone can work with you, should you put the price on that page? So what I'm going to do in today's video, because this is such a common question, is I'm going to explain the pros and cons and the reasoning behind whether or not to put your price up on your website. And then I'm going to share what I've personally done and my own recommendation. Okay, so let's just jump right in. So the first thing you need to understand is not just, oh, hey, so-and-so, Louisa or whomever said this, so let me go and do it. I really want to make sure you understand what the thinking is behind the recommendation to either have your price up on your website or not. So if you are going to have your price on your website, there are definitely some huge benefits to that. One of the top benefits is that you are going to start pre-qualifying your potential clients who reach out to you. So if someone goes to your website, is thinking about hiring you, and they see the price on your website, then if they reach out afterwards and say, hey, I'm interested in potentially working with you, then it's because most likely, now nothing is certain, you're gonna have people who reach out to you even if they don't know even if they haven't seen your website, or maybe they read it, they just didn't find the price. So you are gonna have that, let me just make that clear. But more often than not, you're gonna have people who reach out after they've really seen your website, they've seen your price, and they're prepared. So they don't come on to a sales call with you, there's not sticker shock after they start talking with you, they're prepared to potentially make that investment. That is one of the top reasons why you might want to put your price up on your website, so that you can let people know right away, you can pre-qualify them, you don't have to necessarily deal with a ton of people who are coming to you potentially wanting to work with you and then being super surprised at the price that you are charging. Now, on the other hand, especially if you are new, you're just starting out, you don't have a whole bunch of proof online that you're legitimate or testimonials that you're good at what you do, and maybe you're in an industry where coaching isn't as widely accepted as something that's incredibly valuable and useful. Let me give you a few examples. So I work with a lot of students, for example, who are health coaches or career coaches or relationship coaches. And while the top coaches in those industries can charge 5 to even 6 figures to work with them, and the majority of coaches in that industry are not charging that. And so they've established a lower kind of anchor for what people might expect to pay for a coach in that industry. And so if that's the case and you're doing what I recommend you do, is just to charge a relatively premium price of over $1,000. And if you want to understand more about how to do that, I'm going to share with you at the end of this video another video to talk you through how to price and get clients in a way that where they understand the value of your premium pricing and positioning. But anyways, back to this. So if a lot of your audience doesn't really understand the value of coaching with the coach for a set amount of time, of hiring someone who's really good at what it is that they do, versus maybe paying pennies relatively for a coach for an hour or so, then that might be an instance where you might not want to put the price on your website, because then what could happen is someone could just look at your website and automatically filter themselves out of being a potential client of yours because they see the price on the website and they're thinking, I just don't understand. And they've made their decision purely based on that price. Whereas if you don't necessarily put your price on your website and someone reaches out to you, they are relatively new to the coaching industry, so they're not sure exactly what price point to expect, but they've seen your content. They love what it is that you have to share. They really want your help with whatever you can help them with. what that allows you to do is have a conversation with them where through that conversation, you help them understand the value of what it is that they would be investing in. Now, that is a huge plus, especially if you're starting out, because especially when you're starting out, right? Your copywriting skills, your marketing skills, everything it's not going to be as good as it is going to be in a short while down the road after you've had a good amount of practice and you know your audience better. And so you don't necessarily want to rely on your ability to write an amazing work with me page that has someone thinking, oh yeah, I understand the value. It might just be easier to get them to have a human conversation with you where they can understand, oh, through talking to this person, I can see how they really know what it is that they're talking about, and I understand the value, so now I'm ready to invest. And so that is a huge plus for not listing the price on your website. However, the downside of that potentially is that you are going to have more people reaching out who aren't prepared for the level of investment that it would take to work with you. And as a result, they might come onto a sales call with you and just be completely thrown off. And you might have to do a few more sales calls initially to really get the right people on those sales calls and end up buying from you. So those are the pros and cons of each. Now, this is what I recommend that you do when you're starting out and what I personally did. I actually recommend walking the line between the two. Again, especially if you're starting out and you just want to make sure that you are in a position where you're able to talk to someone first and show them the value, right, of working with you. What I would do is I would put a note on the Work With Me page, maybe put it in a few places, and note, hey, this is a significant investment. There are so many ways you can do this. You can say prices or the investment to work with me ranges from this dollar amount and up, depending on how we decide to work together. Or you can say something like, this is a significant 4-figure investment. Something like that. Or you can even say, this is a significant investment, right? Whatever feels comfortable to you, play with the wording based on the examples I just gave you, where someone is coming and understanding, okay, this is not going to be like a $100 hour to work with a coach. This is going to be a significant investment. So I better make sure I'm ready. But it's not so high that it's not where you're just putting the price on the page and having people just not even understand the value of what it would mean to work with you before making that decision, so that they're able to have that conversation with you and understand if this is truly the right investment for them. And so that way, you're also, especially if you're starting out, able to bring more people on sales calls, which is good for you, not only for increasing your likelihood of making sales, but also for practicing your ability to have good sales conversations. So for all of those reasons, that's why what I recommend is to recap, at least when you're starting out, to note, hey, this is a significant investment, using any of the language that I shared with you just a minute ago. And then inviting them onto the sales call with you. If someone reaches out to you and says, hey, I want to know the price, what I would recommend doing, and I want to make it clear, this is not about like, oh, let me get someone onto a sales call. Let me trick someone onto a sales call. Let me do a switch and bait so that once they're on the sales call, they're going to be more likely to buy. If you're good at having a sales conversation, yes, they are possibly going to be more likely if they're the right type of ideal client for you. But what this is really about is making sure, I want to really emphasize this, making sure that an ideal potential client whom you can help and who, if they understood the value of that investment, would love to work with you, that they don't just automatically disqualify themselves from working with you based on the price alone. Because then what we want to prevent is, oh, this is this price. Okay, all I see is this price. I don't understand. I'm not thinking about the value. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just thinking about that dollar amount, and I don't know if I want to pay that. Right? Whereas if you bring them on that conversation with you, they come in prepared because they know it's going to be a significant investment, but then they're ready to have a conversation with you And if you are talking to them, they're understanding the value of what that coaching is going to be and the result they're going to get versus, oh, I'm just paying this person X amount of dollars. That's going to be much more likely to end in that person hiring you than you helping them get the amazing result that they want. So it really creates a win-win. Now, down the road, and again, this differs for every client I've worked with over the years. Down the road at some point, you might just say, look, I'm at a point where I have other income sources coming in. I have other courses. I've got a steady stream of clients, so on and so forth. I'm ready to put out my price so that only people who see it and are ready are the ones that I speak with. Totally fine. When I used to offer private coaching after about year 2 or 3 in my business, and I was charging multiple 5 figures because of the results that I was helping my clients get, I was very upfront about that. Look, this is at that point, I think I was charging $30,000 for private coaching with me. And I would say, hey, look, this is a significant investment. This is $30,000. And look, if you are interested, we can have a conversation. If you want to see results that I've helped students get, making multiple 6 figures, having epic 6-figure launches, creating really amazing evergreen funnels, all of that, here are all the testimonials, right? Real people, you can see their websites, you can see their video testimonials before and after results. If this is something that you are looking for, then here's the investment. Here's how to take the next step to potentially work with me. So I didn't even start out with that price though in this business. What I started out with was exactly what I recommended. And then as I built up my own client base, my testimonials, as I built up my traffic, so I had more and more people coming in, and I got to a point where it wasn't that I didn't necessarily need to be practicing so much on sales calls anymore. It was more about, look, I would love to work with some private clients, but I'm not gonna I'm just gonna put it out there, and the people who see all of this and are interested, they can come and apply, and we can talk about if it's a good fit to work together. Now, I didn't do that until about between years 2 and 3 in this business. And so I'm sharing that with you so that you can figure out when might be the best time for you. For some of my students, is after they've gotten their first 5 to 10 clients, they're fully booked, and they're thinking, okay, now I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna let people know there's a wait list, and if they're interested, these are the details, right? For some people, they do it from day one because they're in a job. They're thinking, I only want to work with people that I love working with. I'm not in a hurry to get paid because I have the paycheck coming in, and so I don't need to worry about paying the bills with my business. And then for others, it's somewhere in between year 1 and year 3 or year 5. So I'm just sharing with you the considerations that you might want to be thinking through for when to move through each step so that you can make the best choice for yourself. All right, so that's it for this video, really talking you through so that you understand why you might hear some people recommending one way or another, so you understand the reasoning behind it. And then, of course, I shared my recommendation and what I have personally done over the years and recommended thousands of my clients to do. So what I have next for you are 2 things. First, that video that I mentioned earlier, on how to price your own package and really make sure that it's priced in a way that your audience understands, helps you attract premium clients, and of course sells, make sure that you check out the video that is linked for you probably somewhere on the screen. And then what I also have for you is a really great 20-second script to get your first or your next paying client that you are absolutely going to love. And if you use that script, it's going to very likely help you overcome a lot of the objections that clients might have to not understanding the value of investing with you. So it's a PDF that you can get access to So again, the page is either somewhere on the screen or linked in the description below. So that's it for today. If you love this video, make sure that you subscribe to be notified every week when I release a new video on building your own online business. All right, thanks for being here.